My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours, a music podcast where we chat to a new guest each week, talk about their life and creative endeavours, and talk to them about some of the music they love. Our show works by chatting to our guests about music, but also getting them to make you a playlist of the songs they love. You can find the link to our playlist in the show notes. Welcome to episode 18. I'm your host, Simon Fink. Our guest today is Budjerah. He's a soul singer based out of Finglehead in New South Wales. He's following up his massive first single, Missing You, with new track Higher, which is out tomorrow. In today's episode, we talk about working with Matt Corby, the role that faith plays in his music, and his love for Eves Caritas. Here we go. Our guest today is a singer and songwriter who was raised on a healthy diet of Sam Cooke and gospel music. His new single, Higher, is out tomorrow. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Budjerah. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Now, congratulations. The new single, Higher, is out tomorrow on Friday. And it's another soulful kind of offering from yourself. Where did this song come from?
I was just having a really good week. When I write songs, it's just whatever I'm feeling in the week, just it comes out in a song if I write. And I was having a good week, so I felt like dancing, and that's how Higher come about.
Do you find that you get inspiration depending on the mood that you're in? Like if it's a kind of like slower day, is it a bit of a sadder song or a slower song? Or
yeah, Missing You is like a kind of an example of that. I was feeling a bit sad, like I just left school and COVID, so I was feeling a bit lonely and sad, and so Missing You come out. That's what it was about. Lyrically, that's what happens. And then Higher is very upbeat and happy because I was very happy that day.
It does have like a 70s kind of like disco light feel to it. When you were writing the song, I guess, like as you said, you're in a bit of a happy mood. Do you hear it as like a fully formed kind of song, or is it that you, how do I word this? When you're writing it, does it sound like there's little like disco bits in it, or is it more something that kind of is added along the way?
I think it's added along the way. The disco vibe of Higher, that is all Matt Corby. He's put that to Higher. When I write, if I'm writing by myself, it's usually just me and a guitar, and I try and make it sound as best as it can acoustically before I think of production and layering. So that's for Higher. That was the instance. But then there's like sometimes I hear, or I want to do these vocals, or it needs to have a drum roll here. But it's different for every song, like how I hear it.
Of course. As you said, you were helped in part by one Matt Corby, who helped co-write and I believe produced your forthcoming EP as well.
Yeah.
How did that relationship kind of come about?
Well, when I was 16 and I was still in school, I got to open for him at the Old Museum in Brisbane, and when I meet people, I've gotten better now. because of doing interviews of just talking to people. But I sat in the corner in the green room, and I was like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you." I went and sat in the corner with my guitar, and then I went and played. And he peeked his head around the corner to watch, and I thought that was like really nice of him. And he said he really enjoyed it, and he wanted to work together. And then that was sort of the beginning of the friendship.
You guys have had, I guess, similar kind of trajectories in the music industry. Is there any piece of advice that he's given you so far that you've kind of, I guess, put into action, or that you think is really good?
He's given me a lot of good singing advice. We're both singers. So he's like taught me a lot. He was like, he had some training. I haven't been trained. So he taught me some exercises. That's one bit of advice. But I think the best advice he's given me is I forgot what I was going to say. Make sure the music's good. That was something he says, and he said it to me too. Make sure it's good before, like the song is good before anything else. That's something he said to me, which I always think about when I write songs now.
I think that's a very smart piece of advice. I think if you don't have like a good foundation for it, then it's not going to be supported very well in a way.
Yeah, you could have like fancy production and like cool effects on vocals, or like in your live shows just have crazy lights, but if the music's not good, it's not going to work out.
No, not at all. I agree with that. You yourself, you grew up on music that did have a good, strong foundation. You grew up on singers like Sam Cooke and Aretha Franklin, who some of those songs carry maybe like a little bit more of like a heavier story than popular music does today.
Yeah.
When you go back, do you kind of find inspiration for your own songs in acts like Sam Cooke and Aretha?
Yeah, I do. I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of the old singers, like people that come out of church, Sam Cooke, Aretha Franklin. Vocally, like they're an inspiration, and lyrically, it's sort of always, that's how my dad taught me how to write, and he sort of said, you have to bring a story out. Like people will come and hear the music, but they're going to stay and keep listening to the story. And that's what really affects people in music. So that's something like I get from them.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Your dad, he was the one who introduced you to music, and he also played drums at church. Did he buy you a drum kit to begin with, or was it always kind of singing from the get-go?
Well, it's always been singing. Singing is one thing that I can't stop myself from doing. I love singing so much. Like when I was a baby, I would just like yell along with the songs. But when I was 3, my dad did get me a drum kit. Like the funny thing about it though is that I'm really terrible at drums. So when I was 3, I just banged around, but I never really got any better at drums. It just didn't click for me. Yeah.
Was Dad ever kind of not disappointed, but was he like, oh, damn?
Nah. It was all right. My family actually, a lot of them are surfers. So my dad is a surfer, and my sisters surf, and music is sort of like, it was surfing on music, and it didn't really matter what instrument, I don't think, or if it was like a longboard or a shortboard, just as long as you had fun and was having and happy doing it.
Yeah.
That was my parents' thing.
Are you much of a surfer yourself?
I think I'm a little bit of a surfer. I'm not as good as my sisters or my dad, but it's really fun to get out in the water. It's like if you're having a stressed day and you go surfing, it just clears your head because you're paddling out and there's waves coming, and all you have to think about when you're going in the water is, how do I not drown? So it just really, if I'm stressed about something, that's what surfing does for me.
That's very fair. That's smart. Yeah. For yourself, is there any kind of parallels? I guess I know some people use songwriting as like a way to distress as well, or possibly calm nerves. Do you find that there's a similar thing with when you write music in terms of allowing it to be cathartic, to let you kind of do that, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I've noticed I've only been writing like since I was 15, but I've noticed that if I notice I've bottled up emotions, so when I write, it's usually like what I'm feeling has to come out, and music is the way to let it out. And you just need like release sometimes. Like I know some people, when they're really sad and then you just have a good cry and you feel kind of better. That's what writing has been for me. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Do you find, I know we spoke earlier about Sam Cooke and gospel singing. I know that your faith has played quite a big part in your life so far. When it comes to your music and writing, is there still a strong element of your faith, I guess, within your music, within the songwriting?
Yeah. My music for me, is I just want to touch people and help people. And Jesus, that's what he did. He went and he went to give people hope and make sure that they felt they weren't alone. And so that's what I want to do. I want to touch people with my music, and hopefully that's what it's doing. Not necessarily like preaching, oh, you're going to go to hell if you're bad, but just being there for people is really what it's about.
Yeah.
And making them feel loved and that there's people there with them.
I feel like music, and especially gospel music, but music as a whole, does kind of have this element of community to it, which kind of, yeah. I know that your music so far has been well received and it has had the effect that you were desiring. You recently played some shows with Lime Cordiale and Thelma Plum. How did they go?
They went really well. It was so much fun. I've recently, it's actually been pretty crazy at the Lime Cordiale show, and at not so much at the Thelma Plum, because I only had my song come out the week before the Thelma Plum show, but I've noticed people singing along to my song, which is the weirdest thing. I was at Lime Cordiale show. There was a dude in the front, in the very front with his friends, and I was strumming my guitar, and I looked down because I had to change chords, and I looked down, and he was in my line of vision, and he was singing the words, and we made eye contact, and it was I was like, what, you know the words? And he's like, yeah, I know the words, while I was still singing. And it made me really happy. But it's crazy to see how my music is affecting people, and people are really connecting with it.
Yeah, of course. I believe, and I could be very wrong, so I apologize if I am. I think when Missing You was added to Triple J, it was the number one most played song that week.
Oh, yeah.
Which is I imagine for you must be very exciting.
It is very exciting. I just can't believe I had very low expectations, and it really just blew me out of the water. I never expected it to go the way it did.
Which is what I feel is it's a good thing if there was too much expectation around the song, or if you try to do something too hard or in a certain way, it just never comes out how you want it. Or the product is never as good as it is when it's kind of come out naturally or organically. Yeah, when you just allow it to kind of happen. Yeah. So I think that's maybe why. So Missing You, as we discussed, was quite popular, and we've got Higher coming out this week. we're only early into 2021, and we do have a self-titled EP coming from within the first quarter of the year. What can we expect from the EP?
You can expect a lot of singing. I really try my best to show my voice in these songs, and it's just sort of a collection. Like the 4 songs that are on the EP are just what I've been feeling. Like when I wrote them, that was the time, and so I guess a lot of soul and emotion as well.
Yeah, awesome. I think a lot of people are looking forward to hearing it. Did you find it difficult while under the circumstances of last year? I guess, as you said before, being in a good mood kind of manifested higher. Was inspiration difficult or possibly even, I guess, different with all the events of last year going on and how it affected how you write or sing?
It really... I don't think it really affected so much. Some days, like missing people was something I think everyone felt. But with emotions, you just sometimes you be happy and then you'll be down, and each day is different. So I found it all right, like to keep writing about different things. There's a lot of stuff that you can do at home too. So I think I was all right. I wasn't sort of blocked from writing that much.
That's good. That's good to hear. With both mum and dad being musicians as well, do you ever find that they kind of come in and possibly critique what you're writing, or they might add their own little bit to it?
All the time they do that. Even when I'm like singing around the house, my dad would be like, open your mouth more, or like say something. They're always they're very involved, but they're very smart, and I really I always take their opinion because they know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. So it's all right. It's not like a parent yelling at me for doing it like something bad, but they're just encouraging me and supporting me.
That's good. Can we expect possibly like a collaboration on a future EP or on an album?
Probably. I've written a lot of songs with my dad. Actually, a lot of my earlier songs were co-written with my dad.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll be able to hear some songs that he's written, because he's a really good writer. Yeah.
Does he do music? I know that he plays drums, I believe, at the church. Does he do music outside of church as well?
Where we sort of haven't been at church as much. My parents actually run a non-for-profit organization, and that's how they do ministry.
Yeah.
But drumming for him is just he just likes drumming and surfing, and he does it just because he loves it. And
this season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous 2-year contracts, they said, what the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass f- So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
So he just does it. It doesn't matter if it's in church or if it's out of church. Like, it's just an expression.
Yeah, that's very cool. With influences like that around, was there ever a thought that maybe you wouldn't do or follow music as like a career?
Well, when I was 12, I wanted to be an archaeologist. I only ever sing. I think there was a thing in my head that was going to let me do something other than music. Because I like eat, sleep, and breathe singing. I do it, like, I can't stop myself. And like, just in high school, I was just doing it. Like, I couldn't stop myself from doing it. I had to do it. Like, I worked at McDonald's and I was singing while washing all the dishes at McDonald's, and I don't think I could have done anything else.
Was there any I guess like music stuff at school that you did? Any like extracurricular stuff?
I did 2 of the school musicals. They did them every second year, and so when I showed up at high school, the one I went to, they did Hairspray, and the principal, it was a fancy school, and we met the principal, and they were like, "Oh, you should, if you like singing, you should go like try and be in the musical." And I was like, "All right." So I did it, and that was like one of my first like performances. And I really liked acting as well. I think that's something I might give a go at, acting and television, because I think it's really fun. And I did Hairspray, and I got the teacher said, "Do you want to be Seaweed J Stubbs, who sings Run and Tell," that song, the real upbeat one. And I was like, "Yep, I'll do it." And so I did it. And then the last one, when I was 15, it was Fiddler on the Roof, which it's a really sad story, but it's a great story, and the music is very well written, I think. And I was the main dude in Fiddler on the Roof, Tevier, who was a milkman. And yeah, that was sort of, Fiddler on the Roof was when my voice like had just started changing, and I had a deeper voice. Yeah, and it was a good learning how, this is how my voice fits in these songs, like that a man would sing.
Yeah.
Because the role was written for a man to sing. Yeah, and it really makes you think, musical theatre. I really like it.
It's a very interesting beast to kind of tackle, but it's a very impressive CV from yourself for those two. That's 2 very different, also very different musicals. Run and Tell That is a really kind of intense song to sing in terms of like the runs that it has with it. So that's very impressive. Well done.
Yeah. Oh, I was like 13, so I still had like the little kid voice. So it was a bit easier for me to sing, because my voice just sat a lot higher.
No, that's very fair. Sometimes for musicals that helps.
Yeah.
Budjerah, would you be happy to talk about the playlist that you sent through?
Yep. This playlist, it's just what I really like at the moment. Songs I listened to heaps in the last week. You know, on Spotify, how it says, "Oh, you've been listening to these ones quite a bit." These are the ones that I've been listening to quite a bit. Yeah, and it's a lot of singers, I would say, and I really love like songs that are just like bouncy, like they got like a good bass line and nice rhythm, but also good like singing and vocals. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask, because there's some fantastic tracks on here, and a lot of them are quite upbeat, and as you said, have like a bouncy feel to them. There's a few that are quite contemporary and within the last few years, and then there's a handful that are, I guess, throwback tracks, if you will, including like some Mariah Carey, and there's a Brandy track on here that is I hadn't heard that one, but that is a banger. Yeah. What are these songs kind of like? Where did you find these songs, or what do they mean to you?
Well, I just really love singing, and Brandy and Mariah Carey. I know there's Shaka Khan on this playlist as well. They're just people I look up to, and I am constantly listening and learning from them. Like Brandy and her runs are like so clean, and I want to learn how to do runs as good as Brandy, so I listen and just to learn from them. That's why I put them on the playlist, because I listen to learn from them.
Yeah. Do you find that helps when you are like putting music on to I guess pick up vocal tricks or tics, like that does help?
Yeah, I think there's like a saying, like if you like, I don't know what the saying is. I forgot what it is. If you like listen and like surround yourself with something, you're going to pick it up. Like if you hang around like really cool people, you'll like pick up things and you'll get cooler. So I guess that's sort of what I do. If I listen to good singers, I'll hear things and then I'll just start to maybe, I know like Shaka Khan does like she go, ow, and like open her mouth wider, widen the vowel. I might be singing and I might just do it just because I've been listening to it and just pick it up like a kid copying their parent.
That was a very impressive Shaka Khan, just as a quick side note.
No, it wasn't good. It wasn't. That wasn't that great.
It's much better than my Shaka Khan, I'll give you that. You also had some really excellent Australian talent, including Eves Caritas and Young Franco. Is there anyone in the Australian music scene at the moment that you'd really like to, I guess, work with or collaborate with?
Eves Caritas, definitely. She's one of my favorite Australian artists at the moment. The Get Me So High song, I've been listening to it so much. I think she's a really good singer. Who else do I want to work with? Just everyone. I really like Kait. I really like her, and Young Franco. He's a good example of, he's got some bounce in his music. I'll work with everyone. I want to work with everyone, and it's just sort of like connecting with people and becoming friends. So I'll work with anyone.
Is there any plan to, I guess, tour more and strike up those relationships with other artists?
Yeah, that's my plan. I just want to become friends with everyone. Like, it doesn't matter who they are. If they're doing a show and they want me to come along, I'll come along. It's just about having fun and being friends with everyone.
Definitely. We'll make that known and we'll send that out especially to Eves as well. We'll make sure this message gets to her to get you on a track. You also included Dominic Fike with Vampires, and I felt like this song had elements of your music, but like maybe a bit of a like only slight more hip hop vibe to it. Do you have any interest in, I guess, exploring the sonic terrain of hip hop at any point?
I've thought about it. I really enjoy rap music, and I try Beyonce, how she does in Destiny's Child, how she did that kind of rap singing, but it was like quick singing. I tried to do that, but I'm really bad at rapping. But I think it's really cool, and I think maybe in time I'll get better if I keep working at it, at like incorporating hip hop elements into songs. But I just like it because it's cool. It makes me feel cool.
Of course, as you said before, when you start hanging around cool, it empowers you with cool.
Yeah.
You've also included Sam Henshaw with a brilliant track called Broke. Now, I have to admit I hadn't heard of Sam Henshaw before, but what do you love about this song?
It's really cool. I love the horns in it. I like the da-da-da in the song. It's really cool. My cousin introduced me to Sam Henshaw, and he was playing in the car, and I was like, what's this song? I just like the bounce in it and the rhythm, and it's just cool. Like you can't not listen to it and not just feel like, just got to bob along to this.
It is very infectious. When I put it on, it was like, I don't know this, but I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
Budjerah, I know we only had 30 minutes today, so I very much appreciate your time, mate. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's so cool. I've never been on a podcast until today.
Thank you for allowing us to be here first.
Oh, thanks.
And that's our show. Thank you again to Budjerah. His latest single, Higher, is out tomorrow. We've included a link to his Spotify in the show notes, so you can listen to the single once it's released. Keep an eye out for his self-titled EP, which is out March 26th. We also want to give a quick shout out to Suzy at Positive Feedback for helping out with today's interview. You can find a link to our Spotify playlist in the show notes, where you'll be able to listen to all of Budjerah's picks. If you like this show, please subscribe wherever you get your pods and stay up to date when new episodes are released. We release new shows each Thursday morning with guest playlists streaming on Spotify at the same time. You can follow the playlist profile on Spotify, and you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Until next week, cheers.